about this one because before now you've posted something and you're feeling that if we talk about presidential grades, one would say, are there prerequisites? What are the yardsticks? What does Mr. President come up with as strategy to pick up the conversation around executive grades? But let me have your take on this before we go on this
Yeah,
kind of question and elaborations.
yeah. One time, American president talking about President Barack Obama.
Yeah.
When he visited Ghana, he was asked, "What kind of leadership do we need in Africa for us to pull through to have a better system?" He said, "No, we don't need the strong leaders. It's not heavy build leaders. No, we need a system that works." That understand the principle of rule of law, that understand that nobody is above the law. Section 1, sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution clearly stipulates to this effect that this Constitution is supreme
Very
and
simple.
shall have a binding force on everybody, all citizen body, meaning that nobody is above the law.
Absolutely.
You see, now, before somebody is being sentenced to death, it has to be done by the competent court of jurisdiction.
Very well.
That is to say that a lot of people have sat down, judges have sat down, competent court of jurisdiction. So we should be careful on certain things we do so that we don't abuse, the judiciary power, of Nigerian system. Let me put it this way. Now, it didn't start today. It didn't start today. President Jonathan made some mistake when he had pardoned the likes of Alamesia. He was the former president of Bayelsa State, and people were not happy. Now, looking at what is going on now, I mean, it's a complete shame to the system. I don't want to owe any apology. Let me say this. We are the watchdog society. Section 22 stipulates that we, journalists, the press, shall at all time uphold the accountability and responsibility of the government to the people. And that's why we are here. Now, no, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Yes,
So, now, being a watchdog, we also have to. Now, this is what happened. About Section 175 of the Constitution gives the power for the president, to exercise power to pardon. That's a progressive power to pardon inmates. But I want to believe that this pardon should be subject to scrutiny.
Okay.
That is why we have the National Assembly. It should be scrutinized, well scrutinized, because someone will say, well, it may not be the fault of the president, but the president should also be sensitive and also understand that people's consciousness should suppose people are hurt. You have to be very careful. Now, let me also say this now. Let us be practical. Law works with the morality.
Very important.
Bob Genesis, imagine now, you know me now, and I commit a crime that has to take somebody's life. God forbid, and it has to do with somebody you know. And after going through a rigorous pain of going to court, and you now realize that at the end of the day, I'll be guilty. I'll be found guilty. And you have lost someone that you love so much and you cherish so much. And I'll be sentenced to death only for you to, after 5 years, you now hear I've been freed. How will you feel? No, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. No, how will you feel? No,
I will feel very
feel bad. The case of Sanda,
Yes, cousin.
it was proved beyond reasonable doubt, not shadow doubt. It was proved beyond reasonable doubt based on the criminal code and other legalistic approaches that was applied that he was found guilty. How come he's not about to be freed? Now, let's look at this issue about 175. Now, there is a most dreaded kidnapper from Delta State, Kelvin Onaria. How come a kidnapper? These people have bad records. I mean, most of them, they have bad records. How come such a soul is now being freed to walk around? Now, let me also say this. In Uyo, a wife conspired with her mother and killed her lover husband with otapia. I don't know whether you know what otapia.
Back in the day, we used it for mosquitoes.
And he got away with it. A female lawyer Yawande butchered her husband in Ibadan. Her husband was my close friend. He visited me in Uyo. As a matter of fact, the last time he came to Uyo, I assisted him get an accommodation for him before he left to USA, to France, and got a lady pregnant. When the wife got to know the story, the wife, killed him. As a friend, I felt pain. I was like, why would this wife? Because he told me, my wife is a lawyer. Hope I'm happy. I would like to meet my wife, not knowing that would be the last time of seeing my friend. Now, let me also say this. Now, there is a case going that, the case of Chidinma allegedly killed Osufo Otega. That case recently where he lodged in the hotel after her. That case now, as I'm talking to you now, this woman after it was crowned Miss Prison. Now let me tell you something. There is a case in Akwa Ibom State. Ukeme, the job seeker that was killed when he saw an advert. There was a job available. He went there on the process. This guy, took his life. At the end of the day, he was sentenced to death. Imagine pardoning that kind of person now. So there are cases like that. You see, the point I'm saying is this. We cannot be fighting corruption. We cannot be saying, oh, let us do this, let us do that. At the end of the day, we use our hand and still destroy the same system. We are building.
Now,
why do we punish people? No. Why do we punish people?
Now, hold your thoughts.
We punish people to serve as a deterrent.
Yeah.
We punish people to serve as a deterrent to others. But when we abuse this power, it doesn't make sense to me.
Now, hold your thoughts now. I'm moderating this, right?
Yeah.
I would still allow you to speak some more. I want us to have a very engaging and sweet moment so that it doesn't look monologue as we interact this morning.